Ukraine is confronting a severe manpower shortage that is forcing it to implement increasingly stringent conscription measures, a policy shift that is causing domestic turmoil and raising ethical questions. The grim reality of this crisis was starkly illustrated when a translator working with a British journalist was seized during a routine traffic stop and sent directly to the front line. Despite having no military training, this incident is not isolated, as reports multiply of men being drafted from the street, their workplaces, and public transport centers. The situation has been exacerbated by a previous decision to loosen exit rules, which led to nearly 100,000 men under the age of 22 fleeing to neighboring countries like Poland and Germany. This exodus has sparked a political backlash in Europe, where officials accuse these men of draft dodging while their countrymen fight and die, placing a further strain on Ukraine's relationship with its European partners. The conscription crisis is fueling a political storm within the European Union, threatening the fragile unity that has sustained military and financial support for Kyiv. In Germany, members of the ruling Conservative Party have warned that public sympathy for Ukraine is eroding as citizens question why young Ukrainian refugees are receiving benefits while seemingly avoiding military service. This sentiment is even stronger in Poland, a traditionally staunch ally where President Karol Nawrocki vetoed welfare aid for Ukrainian refugees, arguing that Polish citizens are being treated less favorably. The discontent is being harnessed by leaders like Hungary's Viktor Orban, who has loudly declared that the EU must cease funding Ukraine's war and focus on saving its own collapsing economies. Orban's anti-aid stance is gaining traction, moving Hungary, Slovakia, and Czechia toward forming a cohesive bloc inside the EU that could fundamentally alter the Union's policy toward Kyiv. This European rift coincides with a major strategic shift by the United States under the Trump administration, which has begun to significantly reduce its military footprint in Eastern Europe. The US has started withdrawing a combat brigade from Romania, a move that has stirred unease among allies about the security of NATO's eastern flank. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico endorsed the American drawdown, calling it a pragmatic and rational move, and stating that Europe must become more self-reliant after having lived luxuriously under US protection. He explicitly declared that Slovakia would not contribute any funding to Ukraine's military in the coming years. While the US government described the move as part of a global posture review, analysts warn it weakens deterrence and signals a potential reduction in Washington's long-term commitment to European security amid the ongoing conflict. The combination of internal manpower struggles and fragmenting external support presents an unprecedented challenge for Ukraine's leadership. The backlash over conscription and refugees in Europe provides political cover for leaders like Orban and Fico to openly oppose further aid, directly undermining the collective Western front against Russian aggression. Simultaneously, the reduction of US force in Romania, even if symbolic, creates a perception of waning American resolve. These developments occur as Russian forces maintain relentless pressure along the front, creating a scenario where Ukraine faces a critical shortage of soldiers while the steady flow of Western weapons and financial aid essential for sustaining its war effort appears increasingly uncertain. The convergence of these factors marks a dangerous new phase where international political fatigue could prove as decisive as events on the battlefield. If you have made it this far, congratulations. You have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question though. As Europe fractures over draft dodging, forced conscription, and US troop withdrawal, can Ukraine survive without unified Western support? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinion on where this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.